Thoughts. Today we are talking about Tara Westover's memoirs, Educated. Westover grew up in a fundamentalist Mormon family in Idaho and talks about the challenges of growing up with that, with abuse, with physical and mental abuse, the challenges of overcoming a patriarchal society to become an independent woman. Also, though, one thing, Hannah, for me, that this book really kind of woke me up to, which is going to sound silly, but I know about unreliable narrators, but Tara Westover essentially says that these memories could not be the most reliable things. This is how I remember it. Mm-hmm. And I can remember a lot of times in the book, she would mention that she would talk to her family members and they would say that that's not how that event happened. Mm-hmm. Which on one hand, I think is really, really genuine of her to admit to these things. But also, too, it made me kind of second guess a lot of the retellings of this. I didn't know if you had that phenomenon.
No, I did.
As you were reading through it.
Because, I mean, she addresses that pretty much right away. Mm-hmm. And so it made me question things more as I was reading it. Like, how accurate is this? How true is this? Could the trauma that she lived through and survived be altering how she's seeing these things? Was it worse than what she's telling us? And I mean, of course, you question childhood memories of what else was going on that she did not know about or necessarily realize, because it could have been a lot worse than she told, which it was pretty bad anyways. Yeah. Or it could have seemed a lot worse to her than it actually was.
I think that was the things that I was kind of wondering, not to question her experience, but where was the happy medium, I guess, for this? But again, I think that there were a few times the event where her dad caught on fire, kind of blew himself up. She kind of talked about how that she envisioned it completely different. I think she was pretty honest with some of those things, but I think that that's an interesting thing on psychology because of our experiences that we share. Because I know I'm thinking of a photo. My dad had this digital camera, and my brother and I would play with it. This is like when digital cameras first came out. Remember, like the little thin, skinny ones that were like little bricks.
Yes.
Yeah. He had one of those, and we were learning like these effects you could do on it. And we had taken a half photo of a dog. You could like split the frame. One was of the dog and one was of the cat. And we were like 10. So we thought that was like, oh, we are Ansel Adams here, you know. And we argued still. Sometimes it'll come up. Who took that photo? Because I think that I took it, but he says that he took it. And isn't that interesting how our brains do that?
No, I'm trying to think now if I have anything like that too. I don't know. My dad tells a lot of stories there's certain stories that my Nana tells every year at Christmas and family functions about my dad. And then we go home and my dad will be like, she said this, but it actually happened like this. Yeah. And like the stories have morphed over the years. And like as I've gotten older, I'm starting to notice how the story changes every year now too. And I'm like, wait, no. You said last year, and you can't really do that to her because, you know, she's old and she'll get frustrated. But I don't know, like there's this story that they tell, my Nana and her friend talk about how my dad loved to eat butter sandwiches when he was a kid.
I do like some butter bread.
Yeah, so, butter and sugar.
Oh.
Yeah. Sandwich.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, sounds tasty.
Yeah. And like the age that he ate that at.
Yeah.
And they want to say he was like 10, 11, 12 eating that. My dad's like, no, I was like 4. Or they tell this story about how he couldn't say quarter as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
And so every year it adds a couple words. Like he couldn't say quarter and this and this. Yeah. And my dad's like, no, it was just quarter. I couldn't say quarter.
Yeah.
And so I think as those memories are morphing, you're starting to kind of be like, okay, what actually is the story?
Yeah. The truth is there somewhere. It does make me wonder sometimes about my own memories, because I feel like I have a pretty good memory. But there have been some times where I've been told some stories and I'm like, that's not what I remember. And so I think it's just interesting to look at this human experience.
I think too, sometimes my mom was a big scrapbooker. I was born in 96, so I feel like that was back when the scrapbook phase was still really big. And so there's a lot of, and she had a huge, huge over-the-shoulder camcorder video camera that she would make home videos with. And so I grew up watching all these home videos and then looking through all these scrapbooks. And I mean, she had very detailed scrapbooks with, very detailed captions. And so sometimes I question, is that actually a memory that I'm having, or is it a memory I've created based off of this photo or based off of the scrapbook page with all the captions? And so I think sometimes I've convinced myself that I'm having a memory, but I've actually just remembered the scrapbook page or I've remembered watching the video. It's not an actual memory.
Yeah. Well, isn't that like some type of psychological thing where there's like a certain age, I think it's 4, that if we think that we remember anything beyond that, we're essentially remembering stories that we've been retold or photos or videos. So it's interesting.
Yeah. I feel like my first memory, my true first memory, is a birthday party, my 6th birthday. That's the earliest I can really remember.
I think my first memory is when I was 4, and I know that this has not been told to me because no one knows this happened. I was out. My dad used to pull up the cars just in the front yard and just open all the doors and kind of go to work on them. And I climbed in there. Everybody was inside. I climbed in the van, and that was the old cigarette lighter days. And I popped the cigarette lighter in. I don't know why we used to do this. We used to we would take them out. We wouldn't push them in, so they were not hot. This makes no sense. This is like stupid kid stuff. We'd pop them on there, and I guess we thought they looked like the Batman sign because we'd be like, oh, look, I'm Batman. So I was going to do that, and I didn't realize I had pushed it in, it was on, it was heated, and I popped it in and burnt myself.
Ooh.
So that's like my
branded yourself?
I did brand myself, yeah. I have a scar here that's faded away, but this is when I was little, but I don't remember. That's not what that's from.
You're Batman.
I passed it up. I put it up against the back of a heater. How about that? Anyways, Tara Westover talks a lot about that, about those things, but I think some of the things that I took that away from the book, and you and I were talking off mic about how it's been a little while since we read this, but this is one of those books that kind of really stuck with me, to be honest with you.
Yeah. It's one of those books where you're reading about the human experience that is so vastly different from how we grew up. Because I feel like even though we have a bit of an age difference between us, I feel like we grew
Close,
up very similar. We even kind of live a similar life now of living nearby our families, being in a house we can't sell on family land. And so, we're both close to our families there's small issues we have with family, but a book like this makes you realize how good we had it.
Yeah. Well, they're fundamentalist Mormons, which is a little bit different than I think normal Mormons.
Yeah.
That was one thing that was talked about in the book because Westover goes to BYU, and her family which we all know is a huge Mormon university, but her parents were kind of upset about that because they were like, oh, those aren't the real Mormons.
And I remember how she was with her roommates.
Oh, yeah.
She moved into that apartment, and it was like, you don't grocery shop on Sunday, and you don't go do this on Sunday.
Yeah.
Her friend was talking about going and buying groceries on Sunday, and she was like,
that's the Sabbath.
yeah, no.
Oh, what did he call them? The Gentiles. They were Gentiles.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
They grew up on basically a junkyard.
Yeah.
And her dad would like part out cars to make money and put her and her brothers to work. But then her mom was a midwife, like you said, but then would make tinctures. Remember that? And like essential oils and things like that. Just this whole, okay. This is what got me fired up when I read it the first time. We've got these, like, I don't know how to say this. I feel like I'm pretty strong in my faith, but these are like religious zealots, right? And they're homeschooling their kids, and they're believing that remember she wouldn't take aspirin, or she wouldn't take Advil or Tylenol.
Yes.
Her dad told her to go out, if your throat's sore, go out, open your mouth towards the sun, and let in that vitamin D. Which I feel like we laugh at that now, but the sad thing is that's what I feel like I'm seeing on YouTube now, which is being pushed is like, hey, this is what we really should be doing.
Yeah.
There's a business in town. You know who I'm talking about. That sounds like something that he would push. It's a farm store, and he like, let's go out there and open our mouths to the sun and let in this vitamin D because that's what we're supposed to do. They homeschool their kids. And they've moved to Tennessee. That's what's happened. These people have moved. That's why I was getting fired up. They've moved to Tennessee. And I was like, man, we are surrounded by these people now.
For sure.
I've let that out of the bag. So, anyways, Tara was...
Cancelled.
Yeah, well, after the... Never mind. She was working the junkyard for her dad. She's the only daughter. Just a lot of like restrictions for her and a lot of expectations. That's what I was saying, like as a woman to do. And I really think that the turning point for her in her life was when they went to visit her her dad's family. Is that correct? Her mom's family was living close by because she would go to town. They lived in, because remember, she was like, my mom's family's normal. But anyways, her mom, they had the bad car accident and her mom hit her head, and she thinks that changed her mother's personality. And when you read the book, you think that as well.
Yeah.
But that was kind of like her safe person was gone. And that, because her mom seemed to, after that, really dive into the fundamentalism and the tinctures and all that stuff. So it was a huge event for her. I don't know. It just seems to me like, when I read it, I was shocked that she was able to make it out of this situation she's in.
Go on to do such grand things.
Yeah.
I mean, she successfully attended college, went to Cambridge.
Yeah.
Received a PhD. I mean,
from Cambridge.
she's done things that make me nervous thinking about.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to go get my master's, and I'm like, can I do that? Can I juggle that? Can I do this?
Yeah.
But Tara Westover got her PhD, so if she can do it, I can do it.
Heck yeah. I was thinking, though, well, she wasn't the only girl. I misspoke, I think, when I said that. No, she was. She was. She had
brothers, didn't she?
But she had a sister, too, right? Because the sister lived kind of like away from them in a trailer in a similar situations. Or was that the husband's wife? I think that was a sister. This is kind of where I'm getting a little vague.
Okay.
Do you remember what I'm talking about, though? Because she would she had a sister, because she would go and like talk to she had a couple kids, and then she went over one time and her sister was like, don't ever come back again. Do you remember that part?
I thought that was her brother and his wife.
And maybe it was his brother or her sister-in-law.
Yes. Okay, no, she had a sister, Audrey.
Audrey, yeah. Which the names...
And she is estranged from...
Yeah, the names in the story are false.
Pseudonyms,
yes. But yeah, she had a sister that she was very close with, and then her dad called the sister up and was basically saying, Tara's tearing our family apart. That was when she claimed abuse from her oldest brother,
Sean.
who was physically and kind of sexually abusing her. Yeah.
No, and I mean, like, the mental and physical abuse that she received from Sean. I mean, I was just thinking about when I was reading it, thinking about, first of all, how she was growing up is already hard on a girl. Because there was a lot of, like, talk on her looks as she was growing up. And then when she started singing, because she sang in a choir, didn't she?
Well, she ended up singing for the choir at BYU, the Tabernacle Choir, which is a huge honor. But yeah, she did start kind of locally singing around.
And she met a boy through that.
Yeah, because remember she was going to do like a ballet thing.
Yes.
And they even changed, the ballet studio even changed their uniforms to suit her.
Right. So that she would be allowed to attend.
Yeah.
Because her parents were going to make her stop attending.
Yeah.
But, Sean, he noticed that she started kind of dressing herself up once she met this boy and became friends with him. And he would call her a whore, a slut. And I'm just thinking, like, mentally what that does to a girl growing up at that age. It had to rewire her brain and cause a little bit of the issue of when she went to BYU, why she was so critical and judgmental of the girls that she was around at BYU.
Yeah.
And she had a hard time making friends at first because she had to get over that hurdle of, the judgments that she inherited from her family.
I'm thinking, too, about the scene where her mom and dad come and stay in her dorm for her graduation. And they're trying to basically talk her. They've come to save her soul is what they've done. And I don't know. I remember thinking about that part about how we were talking about how complex family can be. And we were talking on our way to watch Matt Deadman with Crockett about complexities in family. And I don't know. I was just thinking about how when she was going through that part, it was odd to me that she still desired for her mom and dad to be there. Do you know what I mean? And it was just really odd to me. But I don't know. What is it about family that separates us? I've thought about this a lot lately. What is it about family that separates us from friends? I know that it's our blood, but I mean, she was mistreated and misused by her family and devalued.
But I mean, for years, though, when she was living in it, I don't think she thought she was.
She thought that was normal.
She thought that was normal. And so, I mean, she thought she was just, that was their way of showing love.
Yeah.
And that was normal. And so, I mean, she had years and years and years of thinking in her eyes that she had a good family. And so, I mean, she essentially had to rewire her brain. And part of that was she had that psychology class where she realized her dad was bipolar.
Yeah.
That was like her big realization.
And that was a big deal for the family, too, when she kind of brought that up.
Yeah,
like,
she tried to tell her mom.
have a mental disease. Yeah, and that really got everybody fired up.
And that was part of them turning her siblings against her.
Yeah. It makes you, as a parent, a little nervous because you think, like, well, my kids, what am I doing? Yeah. Mary Beth and I were talking about that the other day because I told her, I said, I think that, there are things that I feel like is messed up about me from some things in my childhood, which I had great parents, but I told her, I just wonder if that's like a part of the human condition or experience is when we get older, we look back at our parents and we think, man, you kind of mess some things up there. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's a little scary. But yeah, she went to college at BYU and was learning all these things, but she did have that mentor that pushed her to stay at Cambridge when she went. She was like a visiting scholar there, like an exchange program. And he encouraged her to stay and finish her master's. And then she completed a PhD from there. That's the value of educators.
That's right. Support system.
You
You never know who you're mentoring. That's right. That's right.
I, though, was thinking about they're homeschooling their kids, but also 2 of them got PhDs.
Yeah. So in their eyes,
something's working.
yeah.
That was also, okay, that was something that I struggled with too, is because you've got these fundamentalist Mormons who, I guess from a religious standpoint, that we would disagree with. From a human perspective, I think there's a lot of things that we would disagree with.
Yeah.
But her mom and dad have a successful business. I mean, her mom is... you can still go and buy oils from her. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, you could, because that was a joke when I read it with one of my favorite groups. It was Sierra and Lily and Sam and Keely. They were reading it in Toby's class, and so I read it with them. And that was something that we were kind of joking about, but I almost bought it from my bookshelf. Was she has a tincture that cures quote unquote diabetes, and we told Sam we were going to buy him some. So you could buy you some tinctures.
I wonder if she has anything that cures swelling.
We can go and look. What is it called? Something like butterfly something. As it would be.
You know, if the local person that we're thinking of that reminds us of this.
Yes. Yeah.
If his children went on to get PhDs.
Oh, yeah.
But did it in a way of where, like, they themselves were getting it because of trauma that they lived through.
Yeah.
You know, though, that would be all over Facebook.
Absolutely.
He would tell everybody the way he raised his children. Look at how he raises his children.
I feel like, though, that their line of thinking now is so anti-intellectual that it would almost be a curse if my child became a doctor or an expert on
I just feel like he would find a way to sway it, though.
Probably. My favorite thing right now is I was showed last night that he posted an anti-data center post about how Tennessee farmland is for farmers, but shared it with an AI image. It was an AI created image. It's like, dude, you don't even... You're missing it, man. You're missing it. I don't know. I was going to say that. Do you... Because that was something that Tara talked about, was like her and her brother kind of chose to educate themselves. It was at first their mom would kind of... And then when she had her brain injury or her head injury, they kind of had to educate themselves. And I don't know. Do you think that... maybe that was kind of something that propelled them towards this, what we would consider academic success? Or do you think like this was a response to, like, I think about maybe people who grow up with very, very strict conservative parents and kind of rebel in a response to that. Do you know what I'm saying? Where I don't know. That's a question that Mary Beth and I talk about, because when you become a parent, you look at other parents and you kind of examine their children and you think, okay, so this one turned out this way, and this one, and why did this one end up like this? I know this family; they're a great family. I don't know. Do you think that was kind of more of a response to their upbringing, or because of their upbringing?
Oh gosh. I mean, can it be a combination? Like, because of what they lived through, they had this response? Because of, like, what they had to teach themselves? Because of, I mean, how they ultimately had to think?
Yeah, maybe. Because I feel like for her and Tyler, that was the brother's name that she was really close with in the book. I feel like that they both were kind of like, this is our ticket out of here, is to get out of this.
And he was encouraging her too. Yeah. I mean, he was like, you've got to do this. You've got to get out of here. And didn't he kind of tutor her with math? One of her brothers helped her with math.
Well, it wasn't the other one.
No.
Yeah.
Well, she had 6.
Oh.
So
Well, she only really talks about like a couple in the book. Yeah, no, it was Tyler. Yeah, he was like bringing her textbooks and things like that because he was living, I think, in Salt Lake City at the time because he went to BYU. But he kind of did his as like a stick it to the parents,
like an F you.
Yeah, like I don't care. You can't tell me what to do. Where she was kind of more of a I hope I'm pleasing my parents type of situation.
Right.
Which, from reading, like post-reading and things like that, Tyler is the only family member I think that she's still in contact with.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Is he the one that she ended up being, like, close to his wife and...
Yeah, I think she lived with them for a little bit, maybe. That was something, too, that I always thought was strange was whenever... there was a point in the book where she went to see her mother's mother, her mom, her grandma on her mom's side, and she would talk about how she liked going there because she felt normal. Her grandma was kind of like, I don't know what's happened to your mom type of situation, and I just never understood. I think that there was like an opportunity to live with her. And she didn't take that. And I just could never really understand why she didn't do that.
Right. And I mean, I guess that goes back to a little bit of, I guess, the manipulation that she was facing of thinking that was normal.
Yeah.
And thinking that she was loved by her family. And I really do think for a while it was purely just Sean that she felt like she was receiving abuse from.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think she gripped the mental abuse from her dad until she went away.
Yeah. Which, again, they become successful. Well, the mother does, but he lords over the castle. And they're, like, adding on to the house. And I wonder what the house looks like.
Oh, gosh.
Because it was like it read like it was a shack.
Yeah.
And then we're kind of like piecing together
it
these
looks
random.
Yeah.
What's that mansion? Is it the Winchester or the Remington mansion? It's one of the gun magnates. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Where the wife thought it was haunted, and if she kept building onto it, that the ghost would leave her alone. So it's all just randomly put together. I wonder if that's what it looks like. I wonder if you can look.
That's what I'm going to look at.
I wonder if you can look at it.
This is what I imagined. This is not it, but this is someone else that grew up in a survivalist, like, Mormon family. That's kind of what I imagined. You know, like
yeah. Oh, that reminds me, though. So one of the families that she talks about, because she talks about her dad is paranoid that the government is after them. And an event happens to where one of their, like, nearby neighbors is killed. And I kind of I thought that I had heard about it, and I went back and kind of looked at it, and it was this guy was like hoarding weapons and all kinds of things, and the FBI was kind of keeping an eye on him, and he kind of attacked them and provoked it. Which, I mean, I don't know, it was just weird things like that where it was like, to me, their beliefs were crazy. Like, as far as like the extremism and things like that, I would say that about anyone that was that extreme in any sort of faith, not just Mormonism, but I'm talking about so extreme.
For sure.
And they were almost justified every single time because it's like, well, the government's after us. No, they're not. No, they're not. Well, our neighbor just got shot by the FBI and killed, so they are after us. And then it was like, you know, God's watching over us. Joseph Smith's watching over us. And then the car thing blows up and he survived. Like, you thought he was going to die. And he was like on his deathbed and somehow kind of comes through and then it's like, see, I told you. And then the mom is like a millionaire now, you know, and it was just like, that was something that was kind of crazy to me, was these extreme beliefs almost were like justified over and over and over. And I was just like, this is crazy.
So yes, that is their house.
Okay.
But it also doubles as their
school.
Well, it's their warehouse for the business.
I did know that.
Yeah.
I do remember
and so
that.
Here's a picture of her father inside the warehouse.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
I mean, that looks like a Home Depot,
looks like
Sam's
a
Club.
full-fledged on operation right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then This picture here, that's inside. That's the family living room.
Which is kind of what I thought it would look like.
Yeah. Almost looks like a church hangout.
Yeah.
Kind of like a youth
not very
group
welcoming.
Room. Yeah. Yeah.
Her mom, did you know, wrote a book in response to this? Did you know
mom?
that? Oh, there she is.
Yep. Butterfly Express.
What's her name? That's it. Butterfly Express.
Laurie.
Yes.
Westover. She calls her husband the boss.
The boss.
The boss.
Because he makes her.
She has written her own memoir titled Educating.
Yes. Yeah, she wrote it's in response to this book. And it is...
She was advised to sue Tara for defamation.
Wow. Educating is the worst rated Goodreads book I've ever seen. It's like an average 1.6. Which I don't know if that's a lot of people just going in there and spamming that, but it's really bad. I've thought about reading it, but I don't think I can get through it. I've watched interviews with her kind of on the... Have you seen those?
Yeah, it's hard to listen to.
Oh, yeah. So... But the reason that I am interested in reading it is kind of what we started off at the top of the show, is to get that, like, here's one person's memories of this and here's another person's memories of this and what lies in between type of thing, but I don't know. I'm sure that's extremely slanted.
It's got 409 ratings. It's 1.67.
1.67.
Oh. He just did the 6 over. 6-7. 6 over.
As Annie would do. It's like she can't hold it in anymore. She'll go as fast as she can. It was an impactful book. I think it kind of made you realize how things were going, I guess, out in that area of the country. And like I said, it was kind of frustrating because I did feel like that's kind of the people that we're moving in this area. And I don't want to get in on that. But I just, we were talking about how our public school is losing funding because of all the people going homeschool. That was something that a rep and I were talking about the other day. He was asking me about our numbers, and we were talking about how he lives in Gallatin and how so many people are moving into this area, and yet all the schools, the public school numbers are going down. And it's because they're choosing to homeschool their kids. Or I know that one family moved in, told me they were going to do a Montessori school out of their barn and things like that, which... on one hand, it's like, okay, you're trying to do the best, I think, for your kid. Do you know what I'm saying?
But then again, you get something like this, and these people thought they were doing what's best for their kids.
Yeah.
And clearly we see that it's not the best.
Well,
in fact, they caused a lot of trauma.
Yeah, she did. We were talking about successful academically. She did. She got a PhD. Her brother got a PhD. But it's like we were just saying, at what cost? At what cost mentally have I achieved these things? Because
she's basically excommunicated from her family.
Right. Yeah. And I don't know. That's what I was saying. Like, I just feel like there's always kind of like a small, maybe that's like a survival tactic that's inside of us. Like, there's like a small desire for us to come back to our family. Like. Maybe mom and dad will accept me. Even they don't have to agree with me, but will they accept me?
Because she did keep coming back throughout this book. Yeah. She tried over and over and over.
Even when she got back from Cambridge the first time.
Yes,
that was the first place she went. Because I remember thinking, like, what do you do? Like, why are you
you're
going
free.
Back?
You're done. You're educated. You're educated. Get out of here.
Show's over.
Yeah. You're welcome. That should be the new thing. See how many times we can
just end it right there.
The title. Boom. Yeah, when we say, or when you say the title, it's over. You're educated. Cut.
Yeah, where you like look at the camera and wink. Yeah, and it just does the freeze frame. Yeah.
But okay, so like if you get past, which the trauma is a huge part of this book. But when you get past that, it really is an inspirational story for someone that. I could see someone who has had a lot of childhood trauma, family trauma, something like this, reading this book and realizing I can get past it. I can do more with my life. I don't have to stay in this cycle. And for me, like I said earlier, as someone who hasn't grown up in a life like that, someone who has grown up with a really supportive family, who has encouraged me to do whatever I want to with my life, basically. It was eye-opening. It was, I think, as a teacher, like knowing that I have students out there who could be possibly living a portion of this.
Yeah.
I mean, I think not as a teacher, it helps for empathy. I mean, just being an empathetic person and being able to, realize you don't know what everyone is living through, what they're going home to. They might not have that support system that I've had. So I think I can see both sides of this and how this would be a good book for if you have had a bad experience growing up, or if you've grown up well and you just need a little more empathy.
Yeah. Whether or not, like you were saying, whether or not what she says is completely true or not, she did overcome some circumstances and she made something of herself.
And I think we have enough evidence that we know that she has been traumatized at some point. Like, I mean, I think we know that there's some truth to all of it.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, she was brave enough to admit in her own story, like, these are some memories these are my memories, and that doesn't necessarily mean that they happen completely the way that I remember it, but I'm going to do the best. I think that she does like a little preface, right?
Yeah,
like, I'm going to do the very best I can to retell this for the truth. As Bill Landry would say, tell it for the truth.
Tell it for the truth.
Yeah. So just a really good story about overcoming your circumstances, overcoming restraints.
Yeah.
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 Good for you, Tara.
Proud of you, Tyra.
Proud of you.
You got
Tara.
educated.
Got educated. Who did the educating?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Ooh. Tune in for the next podcast where we talk about Loree
Westover.
educating.
All right. Out of 5 stars, how many did you give this? I had to go back and make sure I checked what I gave
4.
mine. That's what I gave mine too. 4 stars. How about out of 20?
See, this one always gets me. I have a hard time with this one. I don't know, 15.
Yeah,
Is
I'd
that
say
right?
somewhere. Yeah.
14, 15.
15, 16, somewhere around there. Yeah. I bought mine at McKay's. I bought it for $1.
I bought mine at McKay's.
Heck yeah. How do you
For
remember?
$2.
For $2.
It's a hardback.
Yeah, and mine is too. And the price has gone up. I think it's $4 now.
Wow.
But yeah, I would still pay $4 for it. I think.
Yeah. I mean, for a hardback in good condition, I would pay $4.
Yeah.
I was like thrilled with my $2 purchase. Though.
Oh, I was too.
And for you to get it for $1.
Yeah. Well, that was, like I said, that they were reading it and they wanted me to read it with them, and I was like, okay, I'll buy it. And I was going to get it on Amazon, and I just happened to go to McKay's like the week that I was planning on buying it, and it was there for $1. And I was
You can always find this book at McKay's too. I feel like you can tell that this is a book used in schools a lot, because when we went on Saturday, there were about 20 copies.
Flooded.
Yeah, there were about 20 copies of it. And when I bought it, I dare say there were 50 copies. Like almost a full bookshelf of it.
Yeah, I remember when I bought it, it was like that too. So yeah, I think it is a very popular book amongst the AP Lane crowd.
Yes.
So. And rightfully so.
I had some freshmen read it last semester in my honors class.
What did they
chose
think
it. Taylor Hensley loved it.
Oh, really?
Like, she absolutely was one of them. We should have had her on, introduced you to her.
I don't know how to say thank you on this one. So, thank you for doing this.
Hey, thank you for inviting me.
And to you out there, you can overcome and achieve greatness also.
If Tara can do it, so can you.
Let's go.
That's going to be my new life motto.
Put it over the door.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, so long, everyone.
Hey, if you're a fan of good conversations and fresh takes on literature and the kind of school stories that stick with you long after the bell rings, well, I've got a podcast for you. It's called With Honors, and it's where my high school students have taken the microphone, not just to analyze books or talk about our lessons, but to reflect on what we've learned this year, have conversations about what surprised them, how our literature and classroom experiences connect to their real lives. And we talk about everything from symbolism and Poe to the pros and cons of class pets, and all through the voices of smart, curious students who have learned to speak their minds. New episodes drop regularly every week, and every one is a snapshot of what it looks like when students take ownership of their own learning and have a little fun while they're at it. You can find With Honors on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and our YouTube channel, so check them out.